Hey guys, what's going on? My name's ClickBandit33 and welcome back to Destiny 2. Just for a quick video addressing just a complaint I've heard about Destiny 2 that I feel like could have, like, it's one of like the few complaints that I kind of share about the game. And that is I'm gonna say his name, and I realize that, Angry Joe is kind of the Satan of the Destiny 2 community, and I've seen both of his Destiny reviews, and especially for his Destiny 2 review, I feel like most of it can be discredited. His one complaint that kind of stuck with me, because I feel like it was pretty reasonable, was how quickly we get our powers back, how quickly we get the light back. And, Bungie is very weird about the canon of their games. That's why for the longest time, we didn't have max light versions of the Vault of Glass, Crota, things like that. Because because doing that wouldn't have fit with the game's canon. And, obviously I don't think they just found a canon reason for us to be able to replay those raids at max light when they eventually did add it. They just kind of fucking bit the bullet and realized not every fucking tiny detail, for gameplay reasons, had to have a lore reason. So, I feel like one of the main reasons they may have not done a longer powerless section may have been because of their whole fickleness with the story. Because they would have gone, well, what if you do die during these sections? You don't have a ghost, it would be a gameplay only reason for you being revived, or you coming back to try again, or what have you. So, for whatever reason, they chose not to, or didn't even think to have an expansive, powerless section of the game. And whether it was a thought or a dream, I don't remember. But I remember just having a really cool idea for a powerless section, which I wanted to share with you guys. And that being, essentially what it was, and like I said, whether it was a thought or a dream, whatever, wherever this idea came from, what it was essentially was, you and a group of other powerless guardians. These would probably be NPC characters. One thing I thought of when I considered making this video was, the guardians who die in the Savathun song strike, I want to say. The one with the giant, shrieker. Taikyo, I think, is, the main guardian you interact with, via, her talking to you. Imagine how cool it would have been if that whole fire team, Taikyo included, had been in this pre-war section. Powerless section, rather. And where, it's like you, her, the rest of her fire team, maybe some other guardians, are in the city after the collapse. You've you found your ghosts again, but you can't be revived, only healed. And you don't have any of the powers that you would associate with the light. I pictured them all, in like a grocery store, or a hardware store, like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something like that. And, they're just, they don't have many, if any, firearms, so they're just arming themselves. I pictured, the Titans attaching, duct taping, rolls of quarters, or door hinges to their knuckles to give their punches an extra kick. For any fallen they may come across. Hunters or taking whatever blade they can find and sharpening it. I don't know what warlocks would be doing with their palm of justice. But you know, you get the idea, you know, they're just ragtagging, you know, all of these various, you know, like melee weapons together, you know, in theme with whatever class they were. And I don't know, it just seems like a really cool idea to me. And that would have just been probably one part of the section, and you know, it's like a cutscene with you guys, you know, wrapping up, you know, getting ready to try and defend yourselves. This might have been, you know, maybe 2 days after the attack. And then, you know, you just have to fucking box your way, stab your way, whatever warlocks would do, through, say, a fallen ambush, you know, because the fallen are probably running scared shitless too from the cabal, or a cabal ambush even. And you know, you just make your way through. So instead of montaging your way through, walking through the wilds like it does in the game before you find Hawthorne, you could theoretically just find, like, you would theoretically just find Hawthorne anyway, but it would have been more satisfying, especially for the Savathûn song strike, especially because that ties in heavily with the lore for Savathûn eventually probably confronting us in Destiny 2. But it would have, like, the deaths of those characters in that strike would have carried a lot more weight had we fought alongside them in our powerless state. And that's pretty much it, I guess. You know, just it just seems like a cool idea to me, you know, for us, you know, powerless, to have met up with other powerless guardians and fought alongside them, you know, even without our powers, you know, just not fighting back, but just surviving. It would have been, I think that could have been really cool, and I feel like it is a missed opportunity on Bungie's part, which maybe we could do that with Ikora. You know, I thought of, you know, they could add it in later, but it would be too late because, you know, we've all completed the story already. It's too late for them to add something like that in. But I figured with Ikora, what they could do is something like with her missions. Part of it could be, instead of just revisiting the old story missions, they could introduce new ones, like, you know, think back, Guardian, to to the days and the week following the attack. You know, think back to how you survived, and you know how, you know, blah blah blah, you know, how that changed you, how that defined you, how that made you better for who you are now, something like that, something Ikora would say. And you know, so if they ever did, I feel like Ikora flashbacky sort of way would be the best way to do it. Obviously, you wouldn't have any of your weapons that you have now, any of your armor or anything like that. I don't know how big of an issue that would cause, you know, having nothing that you have now, and then when the mission ends, having everything you have now. But I still think that would be really cool, and I hope they explore that some way in the future. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Comment what you think in the comment section down below.